Naturally private and self-contained, there is no doubt that all walks of the INFJ personality type come with an aura of unintentional intimidation. However, when the INFJ shows their intuitive cues to unplug from the matrix in order to follow their own unique definition of living freely, this intimidation can become frightening and even threatening to some people. Welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you subscribe to our channel as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it. Starting with number 1. Some may find them too attentive. In a world of continuous distractions, it's fair to say that the majority of people only give their attention to conversations. Whether it be simple banter, serious conversations, listening to a loved one vent their feelings, or even when listening to important details of a work project, some people can't bring themselves to be fully alert, even when it's unintentional. However, for the awakened INFJ, who isn't always distracted by their inner brain soup, the attentiveness they bring to their connections and conversations can be almost uncanny. In fact, one of the greatest abilities of the INFJ prior to a so-called awakening is the way they can attentively listen and ask the right questions to encourage a positive outcome to other people's most pressing issues in life. They're considered the mediator and counselor of the MBTI, and for good reasons. They come with the ability to not only listen, but to simultaneously analyze the words being used and the physical expressions to gain deeper insight than most would be capable of. They can hear the unspoken words and can articulate others' feelings that they can't even articulate themselves. This can be refreshing for the ones who have nothing to hide. Yet for the ones with buried demons in their closets, they may start to question if the INFJ has an ulterior motive. Number 2, they won't hesitate to make the necessary moves to further their awakening. On the outside, most INFJs seem quite organized, predictable, and accommodating. And while these innate qualities don't necessarily change post-enlightenment journey, the awakened INFJ's priorities certainly change in more ways than one. In particular, a sense of awakening can lead to the INFJ type to get a clearer picture of what they want and what they don't want. They wean out the things and people they don't want by accurately gauging the energies attached to them. The intimidation of this priority setting can come with an aspect of intimidation due to the fact that they don't necessarily need factual evidence or reasoning to move on or move towards certain situations and people. Their intuitive sensitivities become heightened, making it so that they're able to make the necessary moves regardless of outer opinions, cries for help, or the pull from their normally empathetic obligations. Although these decisions can put a damper on their original life plans, the awakened INFJ will almost always follow the gut feelings that guide them to the necessary experiences. Number 3, they're grounded. Like the roots and branches to a tree, when the INFJ, or any other type for that matter, begin to expand their branches of spiritual and intuitive insights, they begin to grow roots that ground them from the irrational thought loops. In fact, the source of the INFJ's greatest strengths and weaknesses come from their ever-circulating thought processes. They are constantly thinking, future projecting, and connecting observed details. While this allows them the deep insights they're so used to coming up with, it can also send them into a frenzy of distraction, self-doubts, and an inability to follow their intuition. However, with high-reaching branches as a result of enlightenment, the INFJ's deep roots allow them the unwavering level-headedness to use their functions in the best way possible. This is when the INFJ becomes their true selves in every aspect. And to be your true self in today's world can be considered too vulnerable for some. It's this vulnerability that makes them so intimidating to people who live through fakery and deceit. Number 4, they require true authenticity in their connections. Speaking of vulnerability, when in a connection with a truly enlightened INFJ personality type, Authenticity is a non-negotiable. So it goes without saying that once this type feels safe enough to really let down their guard and grow with someone, whether it be romantically or platonically, they are not afraid for the other person to see their vulnerable state. However, they do expect the same in return, and most times won't even consider opening up themselves if they haven't sensed that vulnerability from the other party. The tricky thing is that most people hold their most authentic selves deep within, and are almost foreign to the feeling of really being emotionally intimate on a deep level. Therefore, when a spiritually awakened, emotionally available INFJ comes along and expects the same amount of vulnerability that they're willing to give, people can actually become discouraged that they'll be able to keep up with being so open. These deeply intimate expectations can be enough for people to begin questioning if this is the type of connection they want, and can easily be intimidated out of it. Number 5. Their subtle energy can be intense for some. Another key reason most people tend to find the awakened INFJ rather intimidating is because they simply don't understand how they can feel things so deeply, especially when it comes to the emotions of other people. Besides the fact that their empathetic ability can easily freak people out on its own, INFJs who have gone through a spiritual awakening carry a sense of intensity in their energy that can sometimes be sensed by others. This intense energy can be enough to make people hesitate when it comes to approaching or getting to know this deeply introspective individual. Although most INFJs probably know this about themselves on some level, even prior to an awakening of sorts, they can't be too apologetic about this intense energy. This is mostly because it's not counteracted with a desire to necessarily impress others or fit in. They either attract people who are willing to see through that intensity, or they happily move on. Plus, it acts as a sort of repellent against people of lower or evil vibrations. Number 6. They communicate their normally hidden thoughts and insights. Like we said before, the INFJ personality type has a head filled with incredible and at times taboo thoughts and ideas. Usually, their fear of being misunderstood creates a hesitancy to share such insights. However, when they're met with a deeper introspective reason to share their insights with others for the sake of shaking others out of the illusion, they can end up saying things that make others question their sanity. Besides that, INFJs are simply honest, and honesty is intimidating for a lot of people. With this deep-set honesty, they never turn away from spreading the truth because they honor honesty as one of their core life values. They are no longer afraid to face the truth, even when it's painful, because they know that dishonesty will never go unnoticed for long. And while calling like they see it may seem like an honorary trait to have, especially when honesty is delivered in the most empathetic way possible, many people can see the truth as a threat. Aside from the unfiltered truths and conspiracies that an awakened INFJ may choose to communicate, they may even ask deeply personal questions that may make others feel uncomfortable. It's the straightforward openness of this enlightened type that can feel intrusive and intimidating. And lastly, number 7. Their ability to let go of attachments and identities. It's a normal human tendency to attach certain identifying labels in order to feel a sense of belonging, self-awareness, and ironically, a sense of freedom. Without certain identities, one can feel lost without a sense of self-definement into who they are as a member of society. Identities such as being a lawyer, being vegan, being smart, being a cat lover, being the one who's always early, being the one who can never find the right partner, being an INFJ, and the list goes on. We all want to be something in fear of being nothing. In fact, we not only feel the need to be something, but we feel the need to put other people in a box as well. And even the introspective INFJ can't get away from this identifying inclination. However, after a spiritual awakening of sorts, the INFJ personality type develops a new sense of self. A sense of self is free from identifying obligations, free from self-made labels, and free from the worry of not fitting in as they think they should. The sense of freedom and ultimate happiness that comes alongside it can serve to be seriously intimidating to those who pride themselves on who they are. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, Do you think you've gone through a spiritual awakening as an INFJ? If so, let us know in the comments below if you think it's made you seem more intimidating. Also, make sure you leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.